Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. Today we're going to look at how to fix a crossover in the stroke and then understand the impact of not really doing much kicking has on the stroke. So this was a video posted on Reddit. I just pulled it and thought I could, the video was pretty good, so I thought I could get a good analysis. So first thing we want to look at is you can see, if we slow the video down a little bit, this kind of back and forth, side to side motion, particularly in his hips with his feet. So there it goes, side to side, side to side. Now, some of that is being driven from this. So there's that crossover that we usually see in most of these strokes. So right there, he's crossing over that midline. So what's going on is the majority of the momentum he's throwing straight forward, but some of it is going up, and in this case, up and off to the right. And so it's causing these hips to go out that way. So they're going to go that way as he does that. So that hip goes out, the feet go that way. And then as he comes back in, they swing back in. Now, the other thing that he does is you can see how wide this pull is. You typically see that with a crossover because it's one of the few ways that the body and brain can correct for the momentum that's not going straight forward. So then this comes out wide to kind of scoop back around and get the body back on track. But then you have, this back and forth side to side motion where, you can even see the feet coming apart here. But you're getting a lot of extra kind of drag that you're creating. You're presenting a much larger frontal drag to the water. Which is just going to slow you down. It's also going to we can't see it the best from this angle, but it's going to probably bring down that back end as well. So let's see if we can get a good angle here. So typically what we'd like to see, let's see if we can measure it. We want that somewhere between about 100 to 110 degrees. So we'd look more like kind of this. If you figure midline is right about there. So he'd be kind of skirting midline, getting real close to it. But this would be in the service of just driving the stroke forward with the core engaging, with the lats engaging. That stroke looks pretty good. It's a little bit off. You can see it's kind of going a little bit that way, but he's not crossing over midline, but that hip is going out and the feet are just starting to come apart. The other thing that you can see from this video, if we go back to the very beginning, actually we'll go forward a little bit. I think I've got. Okay. So what we can see from the back here is, this is an athlete that never does any kick whatsoever in the pool, in a workout ever. And probably read that one book in triathlon, don't kick, save your legs. You don't need it. Well, this is what you get. You get a stroke that looks very, very disconnected. It doesn't look very fluid. It isn't very stable, and it isn't very efficient. And that's what happens when you never do any kicking in swimming. It would be the equivalent of trying to teach someone how to run and telling them to keep their arms at their sides because we want to save your arms for the swim. Because at the end of the day, what we want to remember is that a really efficient swimming stroke is a full body connected, coordinated movement. So, what we're going to want to look at then in terms of what we want to do. Actually, you know what? We'll take a look real quick at what the angle of that other stroke is. So if we look here, see what this one looks like. This one might be a little bit better, but it's still not going to be where he needs it to be. No, it's about the same. It's just he's a little bit more straight there. So he looks a little bit more stable. But what we want to get to is this. These are some of the things that he'd really want to do. You can kick with the brick. I've shown this a lot. You can kick with the brick with or without fins, but it's going to really hyper engage your core. And why we want to do that, so here's just kicking with a regular board, is you can see that really straight line that gets held right down the middle of the body. That's what we want. That's what we want to practice over and over again. The other thing we can do is swim with socks. This is going to put a lot of pressure on your core to hold that line, again, down the middle of the body. That's what we want, and that's what we want to do over and over again. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel out immensely, and I hope to see you in the pool soon.